Hey, what's up, everybody? Another Halloween recommendation for you. This one is a comedy or satire, spoof, whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Wayans brothers, and they did Scary Movie after Scream kind of became a pop culture sensation. And this one predates it by quite a bit. This is from 1981, and it's called Student Bodies. And it's essentially loosely kind of a spoof on the whole, like Michael Myers Halloween character. As in, we have a kind of a first person view of someone that breathes real heavy, and who's actually the name of the guy is the villain is actually called the Breather. And there's some scenes that kind of come directly out of Halloween. But it's basically kind of spoofing the notion that, basically a bunch, high school kids are that age that go, fooling around and making out, in private, tend to be the victims of the serial killers or the slasher, murderer or whatever or whatever, supernatural entity or whatever. So yeah, basically it takes place, in and around a high school. And it's definitely kind of like a B cult type film. It's probably not known by a lot of people. I think it's hilarious, but it may be hit or miss for a lot of people. Definitely, I think the humor is pretty clever. It's like I said, it's kind of one of those films that they may not even be able to find anymore. I'm not sure if they actually sell copies of it on DVD or not. It may actually be on YouTube. Somebody may have uploaded it to YouTube. Not quite sure. But yeah, I have a old copy, from off the interwebs. So you might be able to find a download for it because this movie is, from, like I said, 1981 and out of production. So I don't think you're going to get in any trouble. And like I said, you never know. Some streaming sites like Netflix sometimes have some kind of really obscure kind of movies. And this is definitely a really obscure one. I don't even remember how I came upon it. I think I might have rented it on VHS and or something, or it was on television. But yeah, I think it's hilarious. You've got basically kind of a generic female lead, who's kind of being tracked by the Breather character while he's not, going around, looking for students that are, doing a little hanky panky so he can, take them out. And usually, the murders are done in kind of hilarious, kind of goofball ways. And then you've got a lot of kind of, really oddball characters thrown into the mix. Like the main one is Mr. Malvert, who's the janitor, played by this. I think he's credited in in the movie credits as the Stick, which is kind of funny. But he's basically like, I don't know how tall he is, maybe close to 6'8" or 6'9" or something. But he's like rail thin. He's got these big, long, kind of lanky, like monkey arms. And just a real goofy looking dude. Face is, he just if you saw him in public, you'd probably cross the street. And of course they make him act like a complete doofus and dress him up to look all goofy. And he has a lot of different antics and some pretty good lines in the film. So yeah, like I said, it may be hit or miss as far as the comedy goes. These days it's hard to tell. When people, the kind of crap that they find funny these days, like the Seth Rogans and the Will Ferrells and all that stuff, or, I think, Will Ferrell, after he left SNL, basically just went to crap, and all the movies that he's in are crap. But like I said, I'm prefer more of the old school comedy, and it's probably an hour and 20 minutes long without the credits. So it's not really a big investment in time. And you may found that you've come across a cinema gem when it comes to obscure cult movies. And like I said, it is a comedy, so it's not taken seriously, and everything's pretty much over the top. And but like I said, there's some pretty politically incorrect moments, and kind of stereotypical moments of certain people. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that's about it. Not too much to say about the film. If you can find it online, possibly on YouTube, check it out. It's called Student Bodies, and yeah, it definitely gets my recommendation for something different as far as the comedy films go. Like I says, this predates the scary movie films by quite a bit. So I'm not sure. Of course, there was you have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, so it can't I can't claim that it's the first satire or spoof of the horror genre, but it came before a lot of the the 80s horror films, or around the same time as them. So it was pretty original when it kind of like I said, spawned from the phenomenon that was Halloween, John Carpenter's classic horror film. So yeah, check it out, and I will be back with another Halloween recommendation really soon. Take it easy, everybody.